big step for him. You look at the records of these two guys, and you think he should pull over Kimmul Odum, but Odom's been in with very tough competition, and this is, I think it's really if odds makers or if we were betting men, which I know neither of us are, this would be an even fight.
Henry Kinewande is the young man that has fought the last 2 times against Schultz. First time a 12-round draw for the European Championship, and the next time it was a win by Kinewande from England. So the last outing for Schultz, not a good one, as he lost his last fight, losing in 12 rounds on May 1st.
But he wasn't embarrassed at all in the fight, and Aquindani, Mickey Duff's fighter, is a solid fighter, unbeaten with a huge knockout ratio. So the fact that Schultz went 24 rounds with him in 2 bouts, it certainly didn't hurt him by any means. And being the fringe of heavyweight champion of Europe, being that close is no embarrassment.
Very nice young man. Had a chance to visit with him at the weigh-in as he gets a pretty good right hand on an Odom that bounces him off the ropes. Speaks English very well, understands our language, and is going to make himself very much at home here in the United States as he too tries to climb up that heavyweight ladder. 15-1-1 a record, 8 by knockouts, 15-10, 11 knockouts by Odom.
Schultz looks good here to me to start the fight off. He's in the pocket down there. He's got a good solid defense. He's working Odom's body early in the fight, not headhunting or anything. Going to soften up that midriff.
Think about it, he sets up so much with his jab, and he triples the jab as well. Just continuing to try to loosen you up. Throws a pretty good left hook, as you heard that one.
Yeah, he's got a nice short little left hook on the body and the head. He's got
This is a little bit of an uncharacteristic European style, Bob. Most of the time it's very upright, very straight, but as you said, he crouches down low, hides peekaboos behind the gloves. Good looking style for the young man from Germany.
He's in a solid position down there. Looks like a good match, the one that we expected.
Ed Cotton, a very tall gentleman himself. Keep in mind that Schultz is 6'4", Odom is 6'2", almost looks to be taller than 2, so that may not be totally accurate from the numbers we got. They both look about the same height. Ed Cotton is taller than either one of them, our referee. Closing seconds of round number 1. Neither fighter really taking a big advantage, even though you can see that the German champion is starting to get a little bit more of his advantage here near the end of the first round of a scheduled 10-rounder. Both fighters trying to find their comfort zone in round number 1. Axel Schulz, again, his entourage has been in the country for about a week up in New York and then down here in New Jersey. For Odom, who does not use a stool, by the way. It is there, but he's elected not to use it. 32 years of age across the way, while, again, the German champion. Again, throwing some pretty good punches. Pretty good right hand right there, Bob.
Nice left hook to the body after. I scored the first round for Schultz. He initiated the action. He followed Kimmul Odum around the ring and pressured him, and that's what he's got to do. He put a big right hand on him at the end of the round there to put an exclamation.
So as Odom continues to stand before the start of the second round, seconds are out, and they get ready to rumble for 3 more rounds here in our heavyweight explosion from Atlantic City. Round number 2 is underway. Axel Schulz in the black, the German heavyweight champion, against Kimmul Odum from Gary, Indiana. A consummate opponent as of late, a young man that had a brilliant start to his career. Losses to Ray Mercer for the IBF Intercontinental title in March of 1990. Lost in 12 tough rounds to Ray Mercer. KO'd by Razor Ruddock in the 3rd. Pierre Kucher, the once South African heavyweight, also got a knockout. That came in the 10th round. Also lost to Bone Crusher Smith in the 3rd round. Tony Tucker in the 2nd. And Tommy Morrison also was defeating him by a knockout in the 3rd round. So he's been in there with some very good names in the heavyweight division. Schultz being warned to keep his punches up here in round 2.
But he looks good here, actually, Schultz. He's got Kimmul Odum really felt like, hey, I've trained for this fight. I've been down in North Carolina working with Bone Crusher for 4 weeks. And all the kind of things that I've never done before in preparation for a fight. I've had excellent left hand is finding its mark by Axel Schulz. Both a powerful left jab and a hook that he turns it into. He's very impressive with that thus far in the fight. And anything that he does, to establishing himself with Kimmul Odum. Odom figured, hey, I've been in with the tough guys for Razor, running big name careers, and certainly he has. I give this kid no respect. I'm going to, bulldoze him. But really, so far, Schultz has got an impressive start. Here, Odom's getting off the big punches for the first time in the fight. Laying a clean right hand on Schultz.
And they battle away in the second round and certainly gets the crowd involved in it. One of the other fighters from over in Europe, Zelko Mavrovic, also fought on this card. Very quick heavyweight. And now you're seeing the quickness also here from Axel Schulz.
What Axel Schulz has to do is keep his distance short. He wants to fight on the inside. In the first round and a half of this fight, you can see that working inside was short. He's got a nice left hook, working the body in on Kimmul Odum, and don't let Kimmul Odum get the benefit of that range where he can drop that right hand on him, which is what he wants. He wants that distance in between the two.
John Taylor, who is the trainer for Odom, is working in the corner over there along with Goody Petronelli out of Brockton, Mass. So the pretty good brain trust will certainly tell him what he must try to do in the third round when they take the respite. Schulz trying to hook that left hand, and it's been a pretty good weapon. But I tell you what, he throws both of them with authority.
He does. And on the inside there, he's giving Kimmul trouble. Kimmul can't get off his punches on the with the short range in between the two of them. He wants to fight this fight at long range, establish a jab, and drop the big right hand.
So as the German comes in and pounds away on Odom, you see the time winding down as they fought 2 of 10 here in the heavyweight explosion. An exchange right at the end of the second round sends both fighters heading to their stools, but in the case of Odom, he elects not to take the stool here in the first couple of rounds. That's again a good look at him, and that of course is John Taylor working with him along with Goody Petronelli outside the ropes.
Sometimes these big guys don't like to sit down because they know that in less than a minute they're going to get up off of that seat.
Kind of unwind themselves and get back up again. Odom, a fighter, had several of the Gary and Chicago amateur titles. And as a matter of fact, competed in the Olympic trials at one time, while this young man had a very illustrious amateur career. We'll allude to coming up in just a moment. Very intently listening to his instructions. As again, he handed the right hand that just missed its mark, came in with a left hand that caught him on the laces. And he does throw some punches and combinations, does the German champion. This is round number 3 of a 10-round heavyweight fight from Atlantic City's Resorts International. Sam Smith along with Bob Spagnola. And the German champion in the black with his back to you is Axel Schulz against Kimmul Odum from Gary, Indiana.
Schulz continues to try to use his forearms and his elbows to try to get some range in between the two. He wants to get that jab established and have some distance. Schulz, on the other hand, using a good power left jab and left hook to work his way inside.
You know, Bob, one of the measurements that we got at the weigh-in yesterday, and it's a little bit surprising to me, at 6'4", Axel Schulz only has a 75-inch reach for a heavyweight, 81 for Odom. So that's the reason he has that crashing get inside style, because he's got to get there because of that lack of reach that he fights most of the heavyweights with.
Landed some good solid inside body shots and left hooks to the jaw of Kimmul Odum. And Odom, he's kind of throwing some pity-pat punches here, but they're all just range finders. He wants to keep Schulz on the outside. He doesn't want him here.
By the way, if Sylvester Stallone had not found an opponent like Tommy Morrison to fight, and of course the other people that he fought in some of the fights, this guy would have been a good European guy to get in the movies as well, wouldn't it?
Sure would. Not a bad looking kid. And he's coming to fight. You know, he's got a lot of, he's coming over here to America where we just don't really have much respect for European heavyweights, and it's only because of, you know, history has proven that they don't really have what it takes to come over here and fight our best big men. But this is, you know, Schultz coming off a loss and a draw, a draw and a loss. You know, they're really kind of putting him in the fire. They didn't bring him back and get him 3 or 4 easy wins over there in Germany. They sent him over here and put him with a seasoned American veteran that's, you know, with a high knockout percentage. And that, they're really, you know, letting Axel Schulz, you know, they're putting him in that deep water here, Sam. Want to see what they have.
Well, right now they'd love nothing more than to get another world title. Of course, they already have one. Henry Maska is the light heavyweight champion. At one time, knocking off Prince Charles Williams. And we'll have a tough defense of that title coming up very shortly over in Dusseldorf, Germany.
Right, and you got to think a long time before, back to Carl Mildenberg, the last tournament that he contended for the heavyweight championship of the world, and you know how they would be with this guy. But this is just the kind of fight to establish him at an international level. He'll get more if he can beat Kimmul Odum here today, and he's on his way. That he'll establish him more so than maybe if he had been European heavyweight champion.
By the way, this fight is being televised live back to Germany. They have sent a cast of thousands down to broadcast this thing, as they've got announcers running all over the place getting ready for this fight. And they're very, very proud of this young man, and rightly so. He's earned his place among some of the great sports stars over in Germany, and the future is very bright as we near the end of round 3.
Doing good work in there on the inside.
Well, Kimmul Odum trying to get the crowd boosted up in his favor. Axel Schulz is doing all he needs to do in the 3 minutes of fighting that he's had, however, and has done an excellent job of, as you pointed out, is landing punches from a lot of areas. Take a little early shower here.
Doing a good job of crowd Kimmul Odum. That's for Axel Schulz here. He's going to come in the later rounds of this fight. Odom is a very durable heavyweight, even by our standards. Schultz down there in the pocket, turns the jab into a hook, misses the right hand afterwards, but once he gets in, he continues to try to work Kimmul Odum over on the road.
Also had good balance after he threw that first combination under balance to be able to come right back with another punch or two. Had Odom's let his guard drop, he did not. And after 3, the German champion continues to fight well against the American. Well, I'm sure as this fight progresses, as we move into round 4 of a scheduled 10-rounder, the patriotism of this American crowd is going to start showing. But Odom has to help him out a little bit. He's got to start landing some punches on the German heavyweight champion Schultz.
You can see Kimmul continue every round. He tries to establish the jab, get some distance in between him and Schultz. And Schultz, on the other hand, trying to crowd him. Kimmul's trying to fight him on the inside, but with those long arms, it's a little bit harder, although he scores a good uppercut on Schultz. Schultz answers with a good right hand and then a left hook to the body.
Well, I tell you what, that left jab is like a lightning bolt. It just kind of sneaks in there on you real quick.
Yeah, it's like a straight, it's like a pole-axe, that jab. You know, the danger in this fight for Axel Schultz will be when he deals with fatigue for the first time and he starts standing on the outside with Kimmul Odum and not pressing, just like right here. And giving Odom an opportunity to maybe drop that big right hand, and that's what Kimmul Odum wants to do. He wants to get his range and start reaching this guy with the right hand.
They said, by the way, that was one of the problems against Akindawande, is the fact that he went 12 and got a draw. He went 12 and lost. He'd also gone 10 rounds just 2 fights earlier. So he's gone a lot of distance, but again, fatigue set in, particularly in the draw that he had in the first fight with Akindawande.
He's certainly letting it all hang out here. I've got him winning the first 3 rounds. You know, he's making the fight. Odom keeps trying to find the spot to get involved in this thing, and right in here you can see that Odom's trying to work on the inside with Schultz, but it's just he's got those long arms and that long kind of a rhythm fighter that Kimmul Odum is. He's not as apt at fighting on the inside as Axel Schultz is. And probably Odom never expected that a European heavyweight would be able to work the inside like that.
I think you almost expected the normal European champion to be kind of straight up, but it's not. He's like a boring in style, and it's tough for Odom to try to get anything in. By the way, we mentioned John Taylor, along with Goody Petronelli, working in the corner of Odom. Pretty good people over in the Germans' corner as well. Manfred Volke, who was the 1968 Olympic welterweight champion of the Olympics down in Mexico City, is the trainer. And Darky Smith, also well renowned with his training in Europe, are working the corner of the German here tonight. So brain trust on both sides, and they are dissecting each round to try to give their man the upper hand.
Good solid boxing by Axel Schultz here. He parried and picked off several of the punches of Kimmul Odum and landed some clean shots of his own.
Schultz again bearing in. Schultz at 216 pounds, 239 for Odom.
Kimmul sitting here hesitant to pull the trigger. He's got to put those range finders in there. He can't just rely on one shot with this guy. And Schultz here backs him to the ropes just where he wants it to be, chest to chest, and then he digs down, he gets some range in between them, rips some shot.
Well, as Odom goes to the corner again, not using the stool as he has stood this entire time in between each of the rounds. Again, he has taken a pretty good pounding here by the German heavyweight champion, Axel Schulz. Dished out some pretty good punishment, at least at the early stages of round number 4, but could not maintain the pace, as the German pretty well had his own near the end of round number 4. Odom was one of those guys, though, Bob, when you take a look at the record of the people he's had to fight, that always had that dangerous one punch, and everybody had to fear him. Of course, he did take some punishment. Certainly lost in a 10-round knockout to Pierre Kutzer, the young man from South Africa.
A lot of those losses were conditioning. He got, in those later rounds with good fighters, didn't have the conditioning to finish.
There's a look, by the way, at Axel Schultz's wife. Excuse me, that's his fiance. Not married yet. I almost got him married too quickly. That is his fiance. This is round number 5 as Axel Schulz, once again the German heavyweight champion, in the black to the right, fighting Kimmul Odum from the United States in Gary, Indiana. Amateur record, a very good one for Odom. Several Gary and Chicago, Illinois titles. Actually owns an amateur win over Mike Tyson when he was fighting back in his early days. Also competed in the Olympic trials. Did not have the opportunity to represent his country, but was there and had a shot.
I'm not so sure about that amateur win over Mike Tyson. All these fighters that fought Tyson in the amateur. He would have lost a lot of amateur fights if they all did.
Matter of fact, there were 3 of them on this card that said they had it. But keep in mind, there are 2 Mike Tysons, so that's we just kind of throw that out for food for thought, right? By the way, Odom did beat, he beat Mike Tyson, a TKO in the 3rd, but it was the other Mike Tyson. Yes, it was.
Schultz continuing to do a good job here. He's really been impressive to me thus far, Sammy. His conditioning in the later rounds is going to mean a lot, but he's kicking the crap out of Kimmul Odum at this stage of the fight, and it's not because Kimmul didn't have time to prepare or took the fight on short notice. He's had all the time. He's had a training camp, and he's really come to fight this guy, and I think he's a little surprised with the competitiveness of Axel Schulz.
Schulz just kind of brawling into the corner right now. Schulz didn't start fighting till the age of 11, which I don't guess is that totally uncharacteristic. Nonetheless, he's come on very strongly at only 24 with already 17 fights under his belt and 15 wins. Also won 78 of his 98 amateur fights. Was the 1982 youth champion in East Germany. Also went on as a 3-time East German junior champion. 88, he was a senior champion. 89, runner-up for the European senior championship title.
Now here at this stage of the fight, you can see that Schultz is he's not smothering Odom. He's on the outside, but he's the quicker guy, and he's landing the shots coming in. And Odom does not seize this opportunity to do what he wants to do, which is use this range that he has from Schultz to drop those big right hands in on him and find him with the jab and drop the right hand. So Schultz is really in complete control of this fight. It's far from over with, but he's been impressive up to this point.
Closing seconds of this, the 5th round. Axel Schulz almost slipped as he backpedaled and then threw a big right hand at Odom, coming in on top of him.
Yeah, Odom caught him with the right hand. So far, it's too late for Kimmul Odum. He's feeling the power of Axel Schulz here, Sam.
Kid is setting down on some punches, and again with that shorter reach, 81 to 75, he's got to get on his chest, and he's been there most of the evening so far. Good look at the German heavyweight champion, Axel Schulz. Many people feel that this young man has kind of flattened out in his preparation. He had gone to such heights, as I made mention, of winning several of the European and certainly the German champions. But even though he's at 15-1-1, they don't feel that he's made that many good strides ahead. Of course, the Akawandi fights would probably indicate that here's a guy that he went in some very good competition, but they didn't have him excelling as well as they thought he might. So there's a little concern on what he'll do against some good competition. So far, crisp, fighting well against Odom, a guy that has been in there with a lot of good champions. So it's a good opportunity to see what he can do here in the States.
No, really, I'm very impressed with him thus far in this fight. I mean, he's taking complete charge of it. He's the boss in there right now, and I really didn't think he'd be able to do that to Odom.
Seconds whistled out as we get ready to start the 6th. Well, for fans who certainly recognize the world of baseball, it's almost a shutout thrown here so far by Axel Schulz in the black trunks, the German heavyweight champion. Odom has come and taken his swings, but he has so far been shut out by Schultz, who on my card has won virtually every round, and so far on Bob's card as well, unofficially here at ringside. 3 judges to the scoring on a 10-point must system. By the way, there is a 3 knockdown rule that should be coming in effect later on, and there is a standing 8 count if any one of these fighters should be in trouble. Ed Cotton has the discretion to hold up the fight momentarily, which would be, of course, reflected on the scorecard of the judges.
But here in the 6th round, Schultz is doing, I mean, there's distance between these 2 fighters right now, Sam, which would, to me, favor Odom and his boxing and his good straight right hand that he uses and that he scored a lot of his knockouts with. But what Schultz is doing here is he's picking the times he wants to fight. He's not backing up. They're walking around, they're parrying each other's punches, and when he wants to exchange punches with Odom, he is, and when not, he's backing up and boxing a little bit. He's really doing a good job here.
Very, very good quick feet for a heavyweight. We're talking 216 pounds. Looks with his frame. As a matter of fact, I was just looking at all the other weights. The highest that he's fought under that we have listed here at 219. So this is a very comfortable weight, and you don't anticipate him to put on much more than what he's got right now.
Oh, he's a solid boy.
Odom trying to exchange in the middle of the ring. It's got Schultz for the first time backing up here in the 6th round. And is going to work on him. And you can hear that partisan American crowd coming alive here in Atlantic City. German trying to steal it right back, though.
That's right, Kimmul. But look at Kimmul. He's not going to him anymore. That was his opportunity. He let go with a few punches, and now here comes Axel Schulz. And watch him dig downstairs. That's just what he's going to do, Sam. He's going to bend to the side and turn some of those hooks. He's in good condition. I thought he was resting a little bit in this round, but when Odom started to come on, he said, I know, I got to establish myself every round with this big guy.
And he's fully cognizant of the fact that, as is the normal case with any kind of boxer, you go to the body, you kill the body, and the head will follow. And certainly that's the case, as Schultz, again, has gone well to the body on Odom, with some pretty good head hunting with good straight left and right combinations.
And he's also got to be aware of, regardless of Kimmul Odom's preparation or being in camp or whatever, hey, he's been an opponent, and opponents have a tendency to say, oh, this isn't my night, I've been through tough times, and I'm not gonna. It's just a letdown when a guy comes to you like this, and you don't have a tendency to let it all hang out as much when you've had 8 or 9 losses in a professional career. And Schultz doesn't want Kimmul Odom to get the thought in his mind, hey, I can win this fight. I've got to win every single round. Schultz is thinking to stop this guy.
Well, Axel Schultz with a little pump of that right hand comes back to his stool, feeling confident he's doing exactly what he wants to do. Here's a good look at the blame thrust. That, by the way, is Darky Smith. Oh, hello, young lady. How are you? We're in round number 7. Darky Smith again outside the ropes, and that is Manfred Volke inside. And Darky, well renowned with the people he's handled. Volke, of course, a former Olympian champion from East Germany. And that's his brain thrust as they work with in his corner. A little swelling under the left eye they're working on, but nothing to worry about right now. Almost virtually unmarked, the German champion. And Odom was hitting with a couple of shots along the way, Ed.
Oh, he really has. Here we're going to see Odom pressing Schultz for the first time in the fight, puts him on the ropes, unloads combination.
So the best round for Odom has definitely been the 6th round, and as a matter of fact, that earns a draw on our card.
I did call it an even round, but I really felt like at the end of the round, Schultz was back in control of the fight. And
exactly.
Kimmul had his chance to take over and win a round, and get the crowd behind him. That was it, and he didn't accomplish that.
What does this do for Odom now? As he comes back out, he had that opportunity, and now it may be gone. What does he do in his mind about coming out and fighting Schultz?
Odom's got to make something happen. I mean, the way I've got the fight scored, he hasn't won a round yet. And, we've got 4 rounds to go in this fight. And Schultz continues to impress. So, Kimmul can't put himself in a position where he's got to get out here and whack this guy out in the last 2 rounds of the fight, because Schultz has already shown himself to be an adaptable fighter with some good defense. And he's not going to go out there and just, turn to jello for Kimmul Odom in the last 2 rounds. He's so far ahead that he'd have to get knocked out to lose.
Beautiful part of the heavyweight explosion and the heavyweight spirit is that one punch all of a sudden turns a fight totally around. Kimmul tried to find that one punch in the last round. He did have the German backing up, but could not do any further damage to him. Very well conditioned, 6'4", 216-pound, 24-year-old German. A right hand on Odom's got him in trouble.
And follow with the left. And look at Schultz work. He's not looking to rest. His conditioning is absolutely no problem. You can tell, you know, when a fighter, the way he's fighting in there today, he's not looking to rest. He's looking to put some hurt on Kimmul Odum.
Really irritates me when a guy can fight 7 rounds as they had, and Schultz is not even breathing hard, and he has really put in a night's worth already. Minute 20 to go, and this is the 7th round.
And although he is backing straight up when he backs up from Odom, and that is a dangerous thing, he's got enough life in his legs and enough movement to take away the shots of Kimmul Odom, even when he does get in a defensive posture.
By the way, one world champion watching in attendance here today, WBA light heavyweight champion Virgil Hill is looking on, setting over with internationally known boxing promoter Cedric Kushner as they talk about the upcoming fight of Virgil Hill as he defends his title out in his hometown of Bismarck, North Dakota, here in this month of August. Yes, Bob, we do get to go to Bismarck, North Dakota again.
We'll be well treated.
Closing seconds of round number 7. Heavyweight explosion has been very well received by these folks here in Atlantic City. And so far, Odom has held his own for the most part against Schultz, but Schultz has definitely had the scoring advantage on the scorecard.
But look at Odom, you know, he's backing up in boxing. He's not trying to get this German that's come into the United States out of there. He's almost trying to survive himself. Schultz he's gotten back after the first even round, the 6th in this fight, and he's taken back control of this fight.
Good look at 24-year-old Axel Schulz into his corner. Another solid 10-9 round as they'll be heading for the 8th round of his scheduled 10-rounder here at Resorts International Casino Hotel.
And here he is on the replay continuing. He lands a good left, a parrying left jab, and then a right hand, and comes with a straight left after it. And there we see it again. And the left had as much on it as the right hand. Impressive combination by Axel Schulz.
You know, and every time he would land one of those bobs and get in tight, he'd push off to give himself some more punching room to go right back to rain.
No, he's really been impressive to me here, Sam.
So Odom, who has not been on his stool the entire evening here. That's John Taylor on his left. Goody Petronelli spraying from behind across the way. The German champion is up and ready to go as they prepare themselves for round number 8. A good German contingency has filed in here in Atlantic City at Resorts International, and they try to pump up their German heavyweight champion, Axel Schulz. It really hasn't needed much punching up in this particular fight against Kimmul Odum, as he's come out swinging from the opening bell. Odom just kind of fading in the wind here.
Yeah, Kimmul doesn't, he's not showing a tendency right now to try to, the big left hook hurts Odom. I mean, he's not showing a tendency of trying to get back into this fight or trying to be the boss in there. At this stage, he's trying to box and stay away from Axel Schulz. And Schulz, to his credit, Sam, I mean, if I had a guy that had won, hadn't lost a round in 7, I might pull him off a little bit. But he's doing really the only thing he can do, crowd and pressure this guy, and he's going to do that right on through the end of the fight. Doing a real good job of it.
Which is a compliment to his defense that they can allow him to get in there. And you can see behind that peekaboo style, there's very few of Odom's big punches have been able to land.
Oh, nice combination of a right uppercut, left hook by Axel Schulz there. Kimmul, he's having some real problems with this kid. And look at Schulz, use the left hand as a rangefinder as he backs up from Odom to keep him off. He really is showing himself some nice skills here and a set of quick hands.
Just wonder when you're taking a look at a youngster on his way up at 24, I will compare with the Lennox Lewis. That could be rather interesting after certainly Schulz gets some more timing under his belt. But of course, the big size of a Riddick Bowe, how a guy like Schulz would be able to stand up with him with that big punching power he possesses. We know he'll be busy. We know he is very active, but can he put another heavyweight away? He's trying to do of Odom right now. A minute to go in round 8.
Odom's always been a very durable guy. I mean, even when you saw him with Razor Ruddock, one of the most devastating punchers. I mean, he was exchanging punches with Ruddock, so finally he got hurt and put out at the end of the third round. But I mean, he's not even exchanging punches with Schultz. He can't hit him. You know, he's sitting here trying different things, and Schultz is picking his shots and really completely dominated the fight. And I honestly believe the difference between an Axel Schulz, if he puts together 6 or 7 wins now, he'll get a shot at the heavyweight championship of the world, and he'll get it at home, because the Germans will get behind him, the television, the sponsors, and you know, and he'll get his shot under much better circumstances than a lot of guys at his stage.
Interesting point. 16 seconds as you see it winding down here in round number 8. As the young German has made his first trip to the United States, he's been very impressive against Odom here tonight as part of the heavyweight explosion from Resorts International Casino Hotel, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Odom still trying to encourage the crowd to get on his side, but as you can take a quick look into the corner of Schultz, he has had nothing but a uphill climb, has Odom trying to catch up with the kid from Germany. Schultz has battled very well. He's had a lot of weapons. He's thrown the short, straight jabs. He's thrown the good right-left combinations. He had the uppercuts, the hooks. And more than anything, he's kept so much under balance. That's the most impressive part that I've seen from him so far, Bob.
Yeah, his balance is solid. You know, his defense is good, and he's, you know, as Odom's employed various tactics, Schultz has been able to adapt to them. So he really has been impressive here. And just, you know, as we talked earlier in the show about the fact that, you know, they were sending him over here to the United States after he beats Odom.
Well, they get the seconds and the ring card girls out of the ring. And here's the bell. It starts round number 9, and in the center of the ring from Germany, Axel Schulz, their heavyweight champion, against Kimmul Odum of the United States in the goal. Schultz, who has had this posture virtually the entire round with the exception of the 6th when he was backed up the ropes, and look at him go to work on Odom again. Pushing away, trying to get even more damage to throw on the American.
A lot of times when you go overseas like this and have a big win like Axel Schulz is having here, he'll be welcome home with a hero's welcome and really completely reestablish himself as not only the heavyweight champion of Germany, but a future contender.
A warning for holding on Schultz. Something that he definitely doesn't need to do, that's for sure.
He doesn't want to wrestle with Odom.
No.
You know, Odom grabs him and he pulls right away. He's doing a good job.
Well, I tell you, there's one thing about Schultz. When you look at him straight on, there's such concentration in those eyes. He's so focused. Knows but one speed, and that is full bore. Has not backed up, with the exception of once in this crowd. By the way, you heard Axel Schulz fans open up the 8th round. You heard the USA chant open up round number 9, trying to get Odom into this fight.
Schultz is not wilted at all here in these later rounds, and I think that that's very impressive. You know, your level of competition, you can only be as good as they are, and you know, to come over here, Kimmul Odom's obviously employed a tactic of, you know, getting into the later rounds when this guy slows down and then try to unload some heavy artillery on him, but thus far he hasn't slowed down, so he hasn't made himself an available target at all.
Schultz again trying to get his 16th victory against a single loss, absorbing that loss the last time out. Henry Anakawande, the young man from England, picked up the European Boxing Championship for the heavyweights in a 12-round decision win. The only loss that this man has felt as a pro. That came after a draw between the two earlier. You can see Odom trying to exchange here.
Yeah, he landed a good right hand, but Schultz is pressing him and trying to keep that distance short. He knows, you know, this is the danger spot in this fight for him. You see Odom trying to rough him up, trying to wrestle him, trying to lean on him. Obviously, he's the bigger man.
Closing half minute of the 9th round, it appears that we will go the full distance in this heavyweight fight. There's always that chance that it can end on one punch. So far, Schultz has been throwing punches in bunches. But Odom has maintained his composure to stay in this fight anyway. Well back on the cards. Will have to probably pull out all the stops as he heads for round 10 after a 1-minute rest by both of these heavyweights here in Atlantic City. Well, a very tired Odom goes one way, and a very invigorated German champion Axel Schulz goes the other way. Again, he has spent his time and his rest period on the stool, while Odom has stood most of the time for him. As a matter of fact, the entire fight. And no marks on the German champion as of yet. Had a little worry about a little swelling under the left eye. No problem there. You see Darky Smith working on that. He's also going under the right eye. Otherwise, unmarked for this man. On the other side, Odom also unmarked. No bleeding or cuts that he's had to sustain tonight. And Schultz has thrown some pretty good punches at him. John Petronelli, a pretty good one by the name of Marcus Marley that he carried through some world championships. Getting ready for the 10th. Well, they touch gloves. This will be the final round of this 10-rounder. Odom comes out slinging leather, and he was quickly answered by Axel Schulz.
Schulz isn't even going to let Kimmul Odum thinking about trying out here and finish this guy, and that, I'm sure that's what John Taylor told Kimmul. You got to get this guy out of here, son.
Schulz again sticking a left jab and then following it for the most part with good right hands. Odom throwing some combinations, but just no steam on him right now. Little tape coming loose on the left glove of Odom may stop a little action here momentarily in a moment. Now they do. So apparently they have seen it, and the glove on that left hand is coming loose. So Odom goes one way. They'll just simply cut that off, I believe, because they have the duct tape, which is the gray tape you see on the glove, holding down the tape, but one end of it just came loose. Now we're back to action here in round number 10.
And you can see in the expression in John Taylor's face when he reminded Kimmul Odum, hey, oh, and there's a big combination by Schultz.
Odom's is going down. Somehow the ropes have maintained a chance to keep him up. The referee could have easily given a standing 8 count right there. Odom's in real trouble.
And Schultz, this would be a heck of an exclamation point for him to put on this fight. He's got Kimmul Odum in all kinds of trouble.
The German champion, an uppercut, a right hand, another one. This could be another standing 8 count. It's not called by Ed Cotton. Well, he's given Odom every benefit of the doubt because those ropes have held him up twice.
That's right, and that's supposed to be the call for the standing 8. But Schultz is certainly putting an exclamation point onto this fight here in the 10th round, Sam.
Odom trying to hold to keep more damage from coming his way. Boy, has the German exploded in round 10.
He made himself some friends here in Atlantic City today.
Now this crowd that has certainly enjoyed the heavyweight explosion, getting a taste of it here from an international flavor.
Excellent fight, excellent matchup here on our heavyweight explosion.
Odom has been a game competitor. He just hasn't had the skill to match that of Schultz. Again, always with a heavyweight, one punch turns it around, but that one punch never materialized today for Odom outside of a very good middle of the 6th round. That was when he had the German in trouble, but could not finish him off. Couldn't get him in any further trouble.
And Schultz has demonstrated that hand speed that he has, he just doesn't have it in the first couple of rounds of the fight. He's had it throughout the fight, and that's a very valuable tool for a heavyweight. Odom has nothing right now.
Just trying to throw punches, just trying to keep it legit here. Ed Cotton, by the way, on that break looked very much into the eyes of Odom to see if he was okay. Late to do that after those 2 possible standing 8s that were not called. But it has been a big 10th round again by the German Axel Schulz. Bright future for this 24-year-old. He's got the speed, the quickness, possibly the power in the hands as he's shown here in the 10th round as he again backs Odom back up on the ropes, and somehow, once he got Velcro on his back, he continues to stay up as you see the closing seconds of the 10th round, and this one is over. So this crowd has been entertained, first of all, from a German invasion. This man, Axel Schulz, the German heavyweight champion, has come and shown his skills. Quickness, speed, hand power, and Odom has put on a pretty good show also to stay in the fight with Schulz as well. And the crowd very appreciative of what they've seen here in the heavyweight explosion tonight. It was interesting to see how Schulz was going to react to his first trip to America. Look how well he's still throwing combinations. This was the first time he got Odom in trouble on the ropes. I mean, the ropes clearly keep him up. And then Schultz just really pounds away, and Odom is nearly out on his feet right there. Was able to get his gloves back up, which was a good sign.
Schultz really showed some good, even though he didn't finish him, he showed some good attempts at it. They've got to be very proud. They're over there giving the German view of a high five.
Well, we have the decision, and it's going to be a quick one. Let's go up to ring announcer Ed Darien.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the beautiful Coconut Ballroom here at Merv Griffin's Resorts Casino Hotel in Atlantic City, New Jersey, we've got the decision. And here it is. Judges John Riley and Deborah Barnes each score 97-93, while Judge John Stewart, he watched it at 99-91. For the winner, by unanimous decision, the heavyweight champion of Germany, Axel Schulz.
Well, two of the judges scoring it a little closer than even we thought it would be at 97-93, but John Stewart seeing it 99-91, pretty much close to what we had on our scorecard, as the German champion, along with Kimmul Odum, celebrate in the center of the ring as they put on quite a fight here in our heavyweight explosion. But it comes away to the German champion going 16-1-1 and very much on the upswing in the heavyweight division.
Ja, aber